Welcome to show number 80th. We are at our 80th show, and today it's gonna be out of order. We are going to see that poor little soul me is completely confused, or maybe I can see through the matrix and understand that it's all freaking witchcraft, and it's just nothing but duality. And what I want you to do is realize this and spread the word that maybe we don't want to be under the word, and we want to be free of the word and no longer be cast under spells. But before we get any further, we're going to have to look at some of our friends that we killed before. Unalived is Lucifer, because we all know that Lucifer here is an allegory of Venus, which happens to be the morning star, which in the Bible we know that the son of morning is Lucifer, which is kind of the witchcraft way of word spelling. And the allegory goes is that our friend Lucifer here was trying to fight for his place in heaven, taking God's place, but then he got kicked out and sent down to earth, which is an allegory of Venus itself, as it is the morning star, and you can see it in the morning. It is the brightest star before sunrise, and as the sun rises, which is usually associated to God because, you know, sun worshiping, Lucifer fades away. And through time, the same battle keeps on going, but you will see Venus slowly heading down toward the horizon, meaning Lucifer, which is Venus, is thrown and cast out of heaven to earth. Okay, so that's how Lucifer was created. It's an allegory, and if you want to have fun with numbers, the number of Lucifer, all right, once you reduced all the numbers to their single digits, you will have 38, and 38 equals 11. And ladies and gentlemen, we get back down to our tree of life, which is 11 is the beginning of magic. So Lucifer was the beginning of the magic inside of the Bible for, you know, between good and evil. But anyways, we're gonna pass that because we're done with Lucifer. Now we go with Satan. Satan comes from the word Saturn and is associated to Capricorn, where we have the effigy of Satan. If you look at Capricorn with its two horns, his goatee, and his two hooves and his tail, well, that looks a lot like what was depicted of Satan. But worst of all, the word Saturn was also used for the word Saturday. Well, that has nothing to do with what I wanted to say, which is Saturn gave birth to the word Satan because Saturn is the furthest planet, according to them, to the solar system. Therefore, it was in darkness, and being in darkness, it was away from the light of the sun, which was the Lord, which was God, and therefore he was in darkness, therefore associated to evil. That's why we have a black cube in the middle of Mecca, which has 6 sides, because Saturn is the 6th planet. So there you go. That's done for our friend Saturn. We had also our friend King Solomon. King Solomon is just another one of those, you know, witchcraft magic names that came from the Kabbalah. If you look on top of the tree of the Kabbalah, you will have a sun, which is Sol, and a moon, which is Mon. And if you put Sol O Mon, who happens to be a king, because it is at the crown of the tree, which is the top of the tree, it's called the crown of the tree, therefore he is a king. So King Solomon comes from this nonsense over here, and he ruled for 40 years. And if you count 1, 2, 3, it's on the 4th position. Boom, there you go. End of story for Mr. King Solomon. Then you have King David. That's how they created King Solomon. So King David, who ruled for 33 years, gave us the symbol of the Star of David, which is associated to 33 and also associated to magic. We'll be getting to that later, but let's see why King David is a king. Well, we go back to the Kabbalah, which we have the 1st Sephiroth, 2nd Sephiroth, and 3rd Sephiroth, which is 3 and 3 on the top. And again, we are at the top of the tree, which is the crown of the tree, and that happens why he 33 is a king. All right, we also have our witchcraft hidden inside the word amen. When everybody goes to church and say amen at the end of a prayer, or for whatever reason, you are actually evoking magic, because the word amen, once you take their numerical alphabetic position inside the alphabet, it equals 33, and 33 is your symbol of magic and is also associated to the word magic through the number 33. Now, our friend Jesus, Mr. Christ himself, the word Jesus, the front of the word is a J, and that is taken from the Hebrew alphabet that comes from Lamed, which is the shepherd's perch, all right, which is associated to the shepherd's perch, and he happens to be the shepherd of men. And we go around, we all know that he died at the age of 33, again associated to magic, and he resurrected after 3 days, 3 nights, all right, and we all know what that means. It means magic, all right. It was a magical day, and it's associated to the Star of David, which is associated to witchcraft through the 666 hidden inside of the Star of David. And I didn't write that down, but I think you know by now. This means witchcraft, okay? And we know he's the Alpha Aleph Tav, okay? The Aleph Tav, which is the first letter of the alphabet and the last letter of the alphabet. And you can find inside of Aleph here the cross, all right? So Aleph Tav, all right? Now let's go look. The cross over here is hidden inside of Aleph. All right, you see the cross. So the cross, the first letter is the last, and the first is also the last, because the last letter is the 22nd letter, which is Tav, which is represented by a cross in Old Hebrew. So he's the Aleph Tav hidden inside his name. Now we go to our friend God, the God, our killer, our #1 killer of humanity. Sorry, but he's a killer. It is associated to the 7th letter of the alphabet, which is a weapon inside the Hebrew alphabet. So a bad choice of letters. If I would be God, I would have been, smart about this. I wouldn't have created my first letter of my name, okay, associated to me with the letter G. Oh, I'm God. Oh yeah, I'm a weapon. All right, okay. And it's also associated to magic, but this is through the 7 spaces that you have inside of this little magical symbol here, all right? And the second letter, which is associated to 15, 1, and 5, as you can see, a circle represents 1 and 5. That has to do with witchcraft. And his last letter is D, which is associated to the door. So inside of Hebrew alphabet. So the door to your weapon is witchcraft. Okay, you can spell this as much as you want, but that's what it means. You have your witchcraft, you have your weapon, and it's your doorway if you're an elite. So this guy killed a lot of people. That's why I've made a little pool of blood here. All right, and yeah, associated to magic, witchcraft, and he is the father. The God is the father, and that is associated to the number 12, all right, which is also associated to Aleph through the understanding that father is the ox. Okay, now that I know, but it's witchcraft. I'm sorry. This is like this duality. This is that, but that's not this. All right. So God is the Father, and the Father can be found all the way in heaven, because the ox here is the first letter of the alphabet and also associated to Father, Son, and man. All right. So, and leader. All right. So all that's important. It's not the letter A anymore. It also has other attributes, and these attributes are what's used to create the witchcraft. And there you go. And the word father inside of the witchcraft, written in Hebrew, okay, this means father in Paleo Hebrew, because it's Aleph and Bet. So that's your first letter of the alphabet and your second letter of the alphabet, which is also associated to your circle, because the circle has one surface and the moon has 2 angles, all right, or the Vesica Pisces, but it could be the eyeball. But this gives you the beginning of the word occult, all right? So you can find all this if you start using word magic and you can find out your father is nothing but a creation out of black magic. All right, so we go back to the very beginning where I've mentioned before the word Bible is a prefix and a suffix. Bi meaning dual, and BLE is tendency. So it has dual tendencies, as you can see right over here. And let's not forget the good book, which is the Gospel, and it means go spell. That's a phonetic duality, such as the Kaaba of Allah, which means also Kabbalah, a phonetic duality. Now, if you've learned everything you needed to know about the world, you will be out of order, because that's the way the world is. It's just a big matrix of witchcraft. So have a great day, and don't forget that it's all magic. All right.